Right, Jackie, your turn at the weekend. 0-0 against Hearts. When you look back now, are you happy with the point or not in the balance of play?
I still think we'd good enough chances, to try and get a few goals. But I think Hearts, credit to Hearts, they caused a few problems, set pieces, and very hard working, very honest. And
hard in this atmosphere as well, with the fans behind them.
I think that's the beauty of it. I think the Hearts crowd, they really get behind them, and it's a great place to play.
That's the disallowed goal. After the game, you weren't quite sure about it. Do you know what it was disallowed for? Was it?
I actually don't.
Push,
I don't know if it was a push or a handball. Similar to one that Hearts got disallowed, possibly by a push.
Well, we're about to see that next as well. That's the next talking point. Derek, give us your view on this, the neutral view on the disallowed goal.
I think from when you see it at the very end, I know Jackie's saying prior to that, the linesman the assistant referee had flagged already, he'd seen a push prior to the actual instant. At the very end up when the camera picks up on it, it doesn't seem a lot in it.
So it's when it's in the air, you think, Jackie, maybe there's a push when you see it?
Because the linesman gives the foul. In the air, it looks very soft now. It doesn't look a lot in it, just an arm on him. But before that, they're pushing into it. That's what I'm sticking to.
If it had been your side, I'm sure you'd have been desperate for the goal. Now, Ryan Gauld, he's involved this week? He's been so good for you this season, maybe as he was on previous games.
Yeah, I don't think Saturday was his best game. I don't think it's speculation will be anything to do with it. I think
of course the Real Madrid link. It's a 17-year-old.
Yeah, it does. I don't think these kind of things will faze Ryan. He's a very focused young lad and great ability. I think Saturday's his game, it wasn't his best, but he still carries a real threat.
You can see you're creating lots of chances. Wanted to ask you about Souttar as well, John Souttar, who just turned 17, and again in the press today, suggestions that Sunderland are desperate to get him signed up now.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of speculation with John. There's a few bids been in before. There's a speculation with most of our young players, but as far as I'm concerned, he's a United player until something else happens. I think there's speculation every week since I've been at United. So
does he need to stay though and stay a bit longer and establish himself more?
Well, that remains to be seen. We've got a lot of good young talent there. And the best case scenario, they stay, get 100, 200 games under their belt, and leave when they're older, maybe 19.
Yeah, absolutely, he's just 17 years old, but seems to be the model, Derek, now, isn't it? And particularly for Scottish clubs.
Yeah, it is. I think more and more Scottish clubs are playing youngsters a lot more now because of the financial situation. And because of that financial situation, there is that temptation for clubs to cash in. I think from a player's development point of view, you'd like to think they have the confidence to keep playing, play the games, as Jackie said, and go to England when they're ready to do it and get into somebody's first team, rather than just going to be part of an academy setup.
OK, let's finish our review with our weekly summation, courtesy of William McIlvanney.
The Scottish Premiership can be accused of many things. A goal rush is really one of them. But the weekend brought goals galore, not to mention a Greek bearing Celtic gifts. While Georgios Samaras hit a hat-trick against Romano, it might take a greater leap of faith to imagine the Mediterranean maestro profiting so easily against the austerity masters of Barcelona. Meanwhile, Billy Mackay is proving that it's not just the Europeans who have flair, scoring his 9th of the season as Inverness Cali remain top of the division. Motherwell are unbeaten in 6 matches, and Stuart McCall's men continue to produce a surprising goal rush of their own. Although Hearts and Dundee United drew at Tynecastle, the home side picked up yet another valuable point. If points were added for SP de Corps, then Hearts might just be at the top of the league.